Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a little investigative quick tip. And I don't remember, a couple days ago, I had a battle on this. It was during a stream, and we were talking about how I was being outspotted here. So what I've done is I am in a training room. We're on Studzianski up in the north in this little hill here where light tanks will try to outspot each other. All right. So it was another Manticore on the other side, and I was trying to figure out how he was spotting me first. So you can see I've got my deputy account. I have already brought the Manticore. He is already up on top in this bush right about here. And I'm going to pull up, and there will be no spotting until we get into proxy range. I'll show you that in just a minute as well, and the mechanics behind that. The other thing I wanted to say is I'm running CVS, Bond Optics, and Bounty LNES. Food and a directive. Right now, both these tanks have the camo directive. And then, of course, Brothers in Arms and all the other spotting things are full of. Both tanks have pretty much just about every skill that matters, especially in terms of spotting, right? So right now, with the exact same setup and the directive, as again, that I'm using is camo on both sides, it ends up being a proxy spotting issue. So notice that the other Manticore where he was last lit is right there, that little dot. I'm going to make the map bigger so we can see it a little bit better. The little purple dot. Now watch my blue line move forward, and then watch when we both spot each other, and it's going to be simultaneous and at the same time, and this is a proxy light. So we just creep forward. So unspotted, I can actually come up top. We both have line of sight, but I'm not spotted yet. A little bit further, and now when I do get spotted, I'm going to back outside of the proxy, and we're going to count for how long it takes for me to go unspotted. So notice, and what I have determined is, it looks like as soon as the circle is halfway through the marker, roughly, is when you'll get spotted. So we'll just creep until we both see each other. There we go. 1001, 1002, 1003. There's the spot for 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1010 or 11. All right, very scientific doing the 1000. Obviously, you could work a stopwatch if you really wanted to see it. There are some skills that will increase or decrease that time. In fact, there's some equipment I believe that will do it as well. But that's basically how that mechanic works. Once you're spotted, 3 seconds till you get your sixth sense, and then about 9 to 10 to 12, somewhere in there, 8 to 12, I would say, depending on equipment, crew, etc., then you are then dark and unspotted, provided it was just you two who were seeing each other and not some other third party involved in the spotting. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Now that doesn't answer my question though on this hill, because I was on this side with this setup and I was being outspotted by the Manticore on the other side. What I'm going to go do is I'm going to swap his directives from a camo directive over to the vision directive, the optics directive, and let's see if that makes a difference. So just quickly, yet again, you can see the setup here. CVS, Bond Optics, Bounty LNES. I'm running the camo directive, and the other one is now running the tuned optics directive. All right, after numerous testing, there are certain situations where even with him having the optics directive, it's mutual spotting. But check this out. Up to there and back. Not quite. Not quite. There are some situations here where spotted. Look at that. And I did not spot him. Not quite. I moved it back, so he's just a little bit back there now. So it looks like there are some situations here. There you go. Where I can get spotted and he does not get spotted. Really interesting. I'm going to actually move him a little bit further back. Let's see what happens here. Okay, I'm dark on his screen. Not lit. Could be a little too far back. Maybe the top of his turret is not quite there yet. How far do... Okay, so there's a mutual spot. Interesting. I'm going to let that go dark. We're going to move it a little bit further forward. Wait till he goes dark. There we go. Yep, I just got spotted. Look at that. So in the right spot there with that extra spotting, I'm still lit actually. Let me go dark again. That's why you didn't see it. You didn't see it this time because there we go. So I've gone dark. Not quite. I gotta watch the other screen over there. There, I'm spotted. Right there, and I didn't see him. I got up to here, and I'm still spotted, and he doesn't see me. He's right there. Just sneak a little forward. So he outspots me by just a little bit. So there are multiple rabbit holes on this one, actually. Through further testing, I found a couple of things that the CVS is what really throws a lot of this off because it decreases the camo of moving stuff. In some situations, very, very interesting. Also, in addition to the Deputy account did not have camo, as good a camo by about 2 or 3%, because the camo on the Sheriff account doesn't actually give a camo rating, at least not according to the tooltip. So I changed that to the same camo rating. So what we have now is I'm running the optics directive, and the other guy's across the field right there, and he's running a camo directive. But what's fascinating here is, theoretically, he's got less burn through but more camo. But watch this. I'll scooch, and I just got lit on the other side, and you will notice that we have not lit the other guy. So creeping forward, still lit. Now let's move him real quick and see what happens with that. This needs to be closer, doesn't it? There he is. So as soon as I scooted him forward, then we see a guy on the move. He's got the moving camo thing, which is the same except for the CVS. Isn't that interesting? And now we both go away because we're stationary. So I scoot forward. I am lit. I scoot him forward. He is lit. Just like that. And then probably we're both going to go away right here from each other's. Yep, off the other one. And now took longer. Interesting. Not exactly sure why, although I did move them at different times. So that's probably it. Really interesting. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go get rid of the CVS off of each tank. Take the CVS off and then see if the directive to camo thing can be noticed at that point. Because right now, if we move, if either one of us moves, we're seen. Man, so this gets crazier and crazier. I took the CVS off of both of them. So now theoretically, well, not theoretically, but by the numbers, I have better burn through and worse camo, which doesn't matter. So the camo wins. Watch this. I'm going to scoot forward. There, I just got spotted. You can't see it, but I am spotted. There's my light. So that guy saw me at 274 meters. There we go. And I pick him up at about 268, 269. So 3 or 4 meters difference. Let's see if I can keep him lit. Is that right? 270 to 2... Well, we're 270 both right now, but it was 274. Fascinating. CVS. I think it's the combo CVS optics thing. I really do. He was running the optics directive. So the combo CVS and optics, because I was moving, scooting up, and maybe he was actually in timing-wise able to get up there and stopped. So he was no longer moving. So I was moving. He had just a little more burn through, and I was moving lots more burn through because the moving bonus and behind bushes, because in that other spot we're behind bushes, and I'm getting out spotted. Interesting on the spotting mechanics here that, in fact, in the open without CVS, the camo is more powerful than the burn through is in terms of using the optics directive or the camo directive. But you add in the CVS and it makes it all topsy-turvy, especially when you start considering bushes and things like that. Fascinating. We've got one more thing we want to go check. All right, the last question we've been having is the spotting circle, the proxy spotting circle, is it a column or is it a sphere? That's a hard one. I don't know. The real question for me is, does it have a bottom? Notice that the other Manicore is below me, but he's not currently lit. So if I get more altitude, well, it's kind of hard to do. Hopefully I don't. See, he's right down there below me, right? He's clearly within my proxy spotting circle, and I am way up on the carrier here, so pretty high. However, if I come down just a little bit, there we go, lit. So right there. So that's still a significant amount of altitude. Just by, oh, by the way, the other side of the carrier over here, it doesn't look like you can actually get high enough on this part of the carrier or this other piece. Maybe at the very tip top of it, potentially. I'll go test that in a minute. But it looks like you can be spotted on this carrier almost no matter where you go. You can't quite get high enough away from this guy. So watch as I'll go ahead and actually just want to, oh no, he's still there. I'm just going to back up here as high as I can go. I'm still in the proxy circle, right? So I've gained altitude and gone, just like that. So no longer spotted. Let's go test the other side over there. So this is potential evidence for actually being a sphere. Notice that he is in the circle right now. I'm going to move him east just a little bit. So theoretically, if it was just a tube, just a cylinder, he should still be spotted here. Although to some extent, he is decreasing the slant range when he gets closer to me. So maybe it's more of a slant range thing, which I guess at that point then becomes basically a sphere. Very interesting. But watch this. I'm going to back him up, and he's going to get lit here pretty quick. Keep on backing up. There he is, right there. So he was in the sphere the whole time. Pretty much, I would say, to the north quadrant of it, potentially. But notice he didn't get lit until he was well inside of it right there. So that is indicating to me that it's just an emanating slant range, a sphere, essentially. Fascinating. Very, very, very interesting. So altitude does have some effect. Although, look how high I am. I just, once he's directly underneath, then you get that slant range, which is, I don't know, what is it, 50 meters? So I think it's a sphere, guys. That's what I'm getting out of that. Let me know what you think down below. That should answer that question, I think. It feels like it's just a 50-meter sphere around the tank, and altitude does matter. All right, there you go. Not quite a quick tip, but a little investigative stuff going on for the spotting system. Let me know, like I said, what you think down below. We will see ya.